Hi everyone, welcome back to another speed build with Frimlin and Rodney. I thought, well, since toddlers are here, yay! We could make a little starter home for a family that have toddlers, and I just thought I'd make a little very quick build and let's have a look at what I do. So I start off with making a few boxy shapes, of course, joining them all together. I have already in mind an idea of what I want. I want to have different levels at the front so you can see more detail to the building. You know, sometimes buildings are just flat boxes at the front and not so interesting to look at. It's good to have a few different depths of rooms at the front of the building, and you see through this build I actually moved the whole building a few times trying to get into exactly the right spot. And actually when I move it later on, it allows me to stick a little tree at the side, which is great. You know, I actually don't know why I'm talking so much about the house, because toddlers! It was just so amazing. Yesterday I didn't have any idea it was going to happen, then suddenly there was that leak from Sims RU, and you know, everyone got really hyped. I mean, it wasn't just hyped, it was really hyped, and I was adding to the hype, and everyone else on Twitter was adding to the hype. It was excellent. I had a lot of fun, but you know, I'm a bit older now, so I have to kind of manage my expectations, and I was like, yeah, it could just be something added to the base game, like I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking something like graveyards, along that line, you know, something relatively small but cool. No way did I expect toddlers. But you know, the wording that they used, blown away, well, it was a translated wording, but it, you know, it was a good translation. It just really excited everyone, and you know, it didn't take long for people to start saying toddlers. And I was thinking, no way would it be toddlers, but wouldn't it be cool? And yeah, it's very cool. You know, there's no way you're going to see a video reaction of me watching that trailer, because I didn't have time to set up the video. My mum's still visiting from the UK, and she was here, and I was very excited. So you can just imagine I was just staring at the screen squealing as best as a grown man can squeal. No, I really love having toddlers in the family, because I like the family play. I like you know, making sure little family's looking after itself, and all, you know, all the little kids, whatever. I don't know, it's just, I suppose it brings out a fathering aspect to me that I haven't tapped into in real life yet. Totally open to the idea, but you know, anyway, so just thought that I have the perfect opportunity today to make a tiny little cottage, and starter cottages really don't take me very long. I'm going to be frank, I probably could have spent more time with the starter cottage. I kind of rushed it because I really wanted to get it out there on the gallery for people to download, and actually it's already live on the gallery now, and which is unusual for me in my speed builds. I usually like making sure everything's perfect in the speed build, and I like having a link in the gallery to the speed build video. Even though you can't click on it, at least you can copy it out and go to it from your browser, right? I think some people probably do. I hope so. But you know, I'm actually thinking of removing that step, because it made it a lot faster for me to get the build up on the gallery for people to download. Anyway, you can see it's already taken form quite well, and I'm now adjusting some of the interior rooms. I really wanted to have 2 or 3 bedrooms because I wanted it to be a family-focused home. Thing is, I just made like a nursery home, you know, about a week ago or so for the 100 baby challenge. So I was like, I'm like making the same thing, but to be honest, this place is kid-friendly. I haven't put all the kid items in there. It's toddler-friendly. I would have loved to have had all of the toddler items in there and then give it my toddler-focused hashtag. But it's not really. So, but I got as much as I could, considering the starter budget. And I tried to use the new toddler wallpapers and stuff like that. And They're really gorgeous. I've got to say, I'm going to use them a lot. I'm really glad that I haven't finished my bright, cheerful penthouse build that I'm working on, because I'm going to stick some of these wallpapers in there. And I'm now going to also change my kids' room, which I've already made, into kids' room plus toddler's room or something like that. Or maybe I'll put the toddler's room closer to the main bedroom so the parents can look after them easier. Anyway, stuff for me to think about. You know, this is a starter home, so it is really basic, and like I said, I did kind of rush it, so it's very simplistically placed. You know, but you could probably say that about most starter homes, and most of my starter homes in particular, because I don't go for the cluttered look. You know, in most of my builds, or probably all of my builds, I like a nice clean look. I like it to look like, not like someone's lived in there so much, but that it's really for a family to move in. You know, it's got all the furnishings in the right place, all the decorations. You know, kind of like a show home, I guess. You see the house you want, and then you move into it, and it's empty. No, that's not so interesting, is it? I know lots of people make empty houses, and that's totally cool. And you know, there's obviously a market for that in the gallery. Anyway, I had a lot of fun in the very small amount of time that I've made this build, filling it up with the toddler items. But I haven't actually really had a chance to play with toddlers yet. Look at this wallpaper I just used in the entranceway there. It's too dark for this build, I'm going to take it out, but I really like it because it's subtle enough that I could use it in non-kid related rooms, non-toddler related rooms. I tried to make the nursery a bit bigger, but then I thought, it's a nursery, it doesn't need to be bigger. Actually, later on, after the video, when I'm doing the playtesting, I move it around a little bit more. Sorry about that, I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I like you seeing what I've done, but it just wasn't possible this time because you know, I was rushing. But I did test things, and everything seems to be okay. There's a small possibility that something doesn't work, like maybe having the potty for the toddlers placed right up against the wall is a bad idea. I'm not sure. And the high chair, should it be against the table or against the wall? I don't know. But I stuck it against the wall just under the window. I thought it was a nice little place there, so you know, little toddler can sit there underneath the window with the natural light pouring in the window. Thought that was a nice idea. It also made for a nice screenshot, I've got to admit. Anyway, we're more than halfway through the build now, and most of what's in there stays like this. I mean, I've gone for a very neutral colour in most of the rooms. I once did a house similar to this, another starter house, and it was very pink, and I got lots of comments like, it's too pink. Don't usually use pink, but I just thought I'd appeal to people that like the kind of pretty colours. This still has some kind of prettiness to it, especially on the outside. I'm not sure actually if I've done a tiny little blue cottage before. I honestly suspect that I haven't, but you can tell me otherwise. But yeah, it looks really quite nice, I think, and I'm already thinking of doing another one today, but we'll see, because maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe I should actually play the game, or go back and finish the bright, cheerful penthouse that I've been hinting at for weeks. My last penthouse build has now over 7,000 downloads, Most New Horizons, and so you know, I think there's possibly a market out there for another penthouse from me, and so I did a poll on Twitter and I asked people what they thought of that. If you want to follow me on Twitter, by the way, I'm just Frimlin on Twitter. I'm Frimlin in the gallery. I'm Frimlin on Twitch. I'm Frimlin on YouTube. Well, I will be once they allow me to have a URL. But I'd also like to go and play the game, just, you know, with the toddlers. And my main family don't have toddlers or, you know, babies, or they weren't planning on having any more babies. Sometimes I have 3 or 4 babies in a family. But this family's had 2. Sometimes I have even as small as 1. You know, it just depends on how much gameplay of the younger life stages do I want to play with that current family. But because of toddlers, I am now thinking they are going to have a child. But the thing is, I really don't want to play with the toddlers in their old apartment, which is the Maishino Horizons I mentioned earlier. I want to make, a toddler place in the new apartment. It's better to put the time that I'm gonna need to make it toddler friendly on the new build, right? Because it's taking so long to make it. I really need every reason to go into there and finish it off. I really wish I'd done more starter houses instead of a giant build, but I seem to switch quite quickly between doing a big build and then I just can't imagine doing another big build. So I want to do a starter house, and starter houses are very quick, satisfying, short time investment. It's a win-win situation, and people seem to like, my simplistic designs. As usual, checking through the build, making sure that it's not too expensive. I went right up against the budget of 18,500 this time, so you can definitely get it if you have a 20,000 budget. I know that once you have more people in your family, you can have a larger budget to start with. For example, I just moved a family in to test it, and they were allowed 24,000. So I'm thinking maybe I should just chill a bit about my idea of starter budgets. But I don't think it's going to change me aiming for 18,500 max. I think if I'm going to exceed that, I'm going to start giving other hashtags. I had another hashtag running a couple of years ago called Starter Plus, which basically meant it's between 20,000 and 40,000. I'd like to try and resurrect that hashtag, and maybe some of you can pick it up with me, and we can do something with it just to help people find houses for the right price, for their family. But anyhow, enough about that. So you can see it's looking quite fun. Some of the things I've placed though have removed the door through to the kids' room. I actually segment the kids' room up a bit in the playtesting. I put in a little half wall just to kind of divide the space. I also extend some of the wooden flooring into there as well. Again, just to divide the space, even though it's the same open space. You can see I moved the dollhouse into the lounge now. I figured since it's a kid, toddler, baby focused kind of home, it's okay to have kids stuff around the house. I'm really curious to know if kids can play with the dollhouse too, or if it's just for toddlers. Let's hope not. Anyhow, we're coming up to the end of the build now. I'm really happy that you stayed and watched. I hope you'll watch some more. I love making starter houses, so I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And it's trying to snow here in France right now, which is a bit worrying because my mother's trying to leave in a couple of days back to the UK. Anyway, here's the screenshots. We've got the lounge and a very basic kitchen. And the main bedroom. And the kids' room. See, it's open plan. Very bright and airy. And a little toddler's room. Just for a toddler. And there it is from the outside. And during the day. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry Rodney was asleep during the whole thing. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you'll come back and please subscribe. I really appreciate it. It makes me feel really happy. Anyway, bye bye.